Smartphone, smartwatch, time for Smartlens. Hey guys, I've been away for a while because the summer season was very busy in my paid work. I also had some other smaller complications, but finally it's all over now, so I'm back full of energy and new ideas. Over the past few months, I got a lot of offers to test different products from different companies and make some kind of review on my channel. This is of course very cool and makes me very happy, and in some way I will show you all these cool things in the next few episodes, but I never wanted my channel to become just a review channel. You know, I definitely prefer to make tutorial style DIY or behind the scenes videos. However, there are at least a few things that are quite difficult to build DIY, I mean electronics and lenses. And that's what I'd like to talk a bit, because many of you ask me about my choice of lenses depending on the type of projects and depending on the different cameras I have. So today I would like to show you which lens I use most often and show you the next generation of some of these lenses. Actually, I don't have specific lenses for specific job, but usually for commercial projects I use the Vespid lenses, for documentary projects picture zooms, and for all film and cinema projects I use Surrey anamorphic lenses. Now, of course, each of these lenses is dedicated for a different sensor, so in most situations I had to use lenses with compatible cameras, but everything changed when the Ronin 4D came out. Because now I can choose which sensor size I want to work with, and I can use absolutely all of these lenses in just one camera, which is crazy versatile. This of course does not mean that I no longer use other cameras, because still one of my favorite sets is the Pocket 6K Pro in combination with the Vespid Primes, and yes, this lens is designed for full frame, but with the Super 35 sensor I just have different focal lengths. Now, when the new Ronin RS3 and the new DJI rangefinder came out, DZOFilm also introduced another new line of lenses called Cyber. And their name is related to the unique features, because something that makes them different from the previous model is not only the size but a completely unique and new data interface function. This technology is basically a module with a 4-pin connector on the body of each lens that allows real-time transmission of aperture and focus data to external accessories. Except for extremely professional applications such as virtual productions where focus and aperture data are very important during post-production, this special module allows us to communicate in real time with the new LiDAR rangefinder and Ronin RS3, which is a brilliant solution and saves a lot of time on set. Right here I have to say it at the very beginning. If you are already familiar with these lenses or have already done some sort of community research, you have probably found some negative opinions on the defective performance of this system. True, some of the first users reported problems with communications between the lens and the LiDAR system, but as far as I know, this problem was totally solved with the latest update of Ronin RS3. Now the performance of this combination is rock solid. Now, in the case of Ronin RS3 and rangefinder, the way it works is that when you connect the lens with a special cable straight to the second USB-C port on the new focus motor, the Ronin RS3 immediately knows what kind of lens it is. So there is no more calibration required. You put the lens and that's it. So basically, these lenses are a sort of 2-in-1, because if you use them with the Ronin RS3 and the new rangefinder, it feels like out-of-focus lenses because you don't have to calibrate them, all because of this new model. However, just because it has this model does not mean that you have to use it always. You can still use these lenses without the Ronin RS3 and without the rangefinder, just like any other lens, with almost any camera with EF or PL mount. So as you can see, these are very user-friendly lenses because they are extremely easy to use. In fact, there is only one thing that was quite complicated, which is kind of manual focus calibration after changing the mount from PL to EF. This is basically adjusting the correct distance between the lens and the camera sensor so that the focus distance is exactly the same on the lens markers and the same in real life. This process is not complicated, but sometimes you have to do it a few times to get the perfect result. Basically, all you have to do is to put under the lens mount sometimes one and sometimes a few special shims on the right size to get the perfect distance. Of course, you get a set of these shims in the kit. Everything you need to know about this type of adjustment you will find in a great video. I put the link in the description. So now, the important question, do we actually need it? To be honest, it's not a must-have thing because it's not a big deal to calibrate a lens on Ronin RS3. Most of the time, you do it only once and save those settings, but in Ronin RS3, you have the options to save only 3 lenses for now, so if you have 3 lenses saved, let's say 16, 20 and 25mm, and you want to use a 35mm, you already have to sacrifice one of the presets for a new lens, which in case of several lenses becomes problematic. Another problem can be the location in which the wall calibration process can be quite difficult. As long as you are in the studio, it's okay because a piece of wall is enough, but if you are shooting outdoors or in bad weather and you want to do it quickly, it can be a really big problem. This is where automatic lens identification is a great solution, and trust me, this feature can really save a lot of time. Notice that more and more companies are focusing just on faster preparation time, which is insanely important in today's modern cinematography. Anyone who has ever worked in a small film crew clearly knows that it is far more valuable to have time for creative action instead of, setup and preparing equipment. And it may be hard to feel the time saving on single things like changing a lens, but if you put a bunch of these things together, then you will find that the whole process of equipment setup for shooting is much faster than it was just a few years ago, just by making certain things more automatic. Okay, let's go back to the basic information and the comparison with the old Vespids. At this moment we have 3 golden focal lengths, that is 35, 50 and 75mm. But all signs suggest that soon there will be other focal lengths as well, who knows, maybe there will be as many as with the old Vespids. All the lenses cover an image circle of 46.5, this means you can use them with full frame and Vista Vision sensors. These are not the fastest lenses in the world and they all have the same aperture range between t2.1 and t22. The focus throw exactly the same as the old model, the iris range is slightly different. Of course, gear pitch in standard 0.8. In terms of size and weight compared to the old model, the differences are quite significant. This change of course has some pros and some cons. I really like the new design, which now looks much more like a professional line of film lenses. All lenses are almost the same size and weight, which is very important for use on gimbals because you basically don't have to do any major rebalancing when you change lenses. The larger diameter of the lens also means that with some of the matte boxes you no longer need to use adapters because 95mm is a more professional standard. Unfortunately, because of this larger size, the new Cyber lens have lost one of the things for which I love the old Vespid lenses. They are no longer as compact and they are no longer compatible with the Ronin 4D. I mean, it is possible to put it in, but the iris ring is too close to the LiDAR sensor and focus motor connectors, so there's a big risk of destroying something. So here in this field I definitely prefer the old Vespids because they are simply more versatile for me. There are some situations when size doesn't matter, but sometimes, especially when shooting with a gimbal, we all know that a smaller camera and lens will get the job better. Sometimes it is just about weight reduction and sometimes it is all about less wind resistance. But let's jump to the most important question when it comes to lenses, that is the quality of the image. The new Cyber Vespids are actually a continuation of the first version of the Vespid, so in theory they should produce an image exactly the same or better. So let's test it on exactly the same settings and exactly the same cameras. Obviously, like any new thing, it requires longer testing, but for these first few weeks I'm super excited and super satisfied. Image quality is great, build quality is great, overall impressions are great. Changing lens takes me only moments without having to calibrate or balance the whole gimbal, which is really great value in my opinion. So the question is, would I buy a new set now? You know, in all my projects, I always like when things go really fast. I mean, the setup and all kind of stuff that I have to organize. And all the precious time that can be saved, I prefer to spend on some creative actions and shooting, which is why a combo like RS3 and Cyber lens seems to be perfect. So maybe if I didn't have a great set of my old Vespids, I would definitely consider it because these lenses are a perfect match for the Ronin RS3. Another question is, are these new lenses and all these improvements and new features really worth almost twice as much as the equally good old Vespids? I think it very much depends on the type of work you are doing. These new features will certainly be much more valuable to someone who works on very complicated virtual productions than to someone who is, starting their adventure with cinematography. However, there is no doubt that this direction of lens evolution is completely right for me. At this point, I would still like to see the rest of the focal length, 60, 25, maybe 21, and I would be even happier if they were a bit brighter, because I have a feeling that my new DJI rangefinder, which is in every way my best virtual focus puller, still asks me for a super fast lenses.